Mike Tyson had to be dragged away from an enraged Jake Paul after slapping the YouTuber in the face at the weigh-in for their curious ballyhooed Friday night fight. That sudden explosion of the baddest man on the planet of old ignited a maul on the stage and provoked a screaming reaction from the idol of social media. As Tyson strode across the stage on Thursday at the Toyota Music Factory in Irving, Texas, a clearly eager Paul, 27, popped up in front of the 58-year-old, earning the YouTuber-turned boxer a slap across the face. The crowd in attendance gasped while Tyson had to be held back. Paul, however, seemed unfazed. Instead, he blew kisses at the former champion. Talking's over, Tyson responded, before exiting with his entourage, but in the moments after the slap, Paul said, "I didn't even feel it. He's angry. He's an angry little elf," he added, saying, "Mike Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap. It's personal now," Paul ranted. "Now he's got to die." Which is the fate many fear may befall a 58-year-old boxer making a comeback 2 decades after his last professional fight. A single clip to the cheek was mild by comparison with Tyson's terrorizing of opponents in his World Heavyweight Championship pomp. But the fight face is very much back on. In that regard he looks every day of his 58 years, but when the shirt came off for the weigh-in for his contrived comeback, the body was as toned and muscled as in his rampaging prime as World Heavyweight Champion, so much so that his condition freed gasps among the cheers. Paul, the YouTube celebrity who will be Iron Mike's first professional opponent for 19 years, disguises his boyish face between a tousled red mane and a shaggy beard, but there was no hiding the slight puffiness of face and about the midriff, which you might expect of a lad in his mid to late 20s whose life is as social as his media outpourings. Quite how their respective weights will impact whatever is to unfold in the Dallas Cowboys stadium this Friday night is as unclear as the confused betting lines, which offer the unusually short price of 10-2 for the draw. But for the record, Tyson came in at 228.4 pounds. Paul slightly lighter at 227.2. "I don't know why he did that," Paul shouted. Whatever the reason, he does know that will help sell the tickets still available at the 80,000 capacity venue. A fight originally scheduled for July 20th was postponed when Tyson had to be treated for a stomach ulcer after falling ill on a flight. Tyson said in a documentary chronicling the preparations for the fight that he lost 26 pounds in the process of recovering. Promoter Nikisa Bidarian, who co-founded Most Valuable Promotions with Paul, said Tyson was cleared medically weeks ago. Bidarian sidestepped a question of how concerned he was for Tyson's health once he steps in the ring. "I'm nervous for both men," Bidarian said. "The reality is Jake's never been hit by someone like Mike Tyson flush on the chin. And Mike hasn't fought someone like Jake for a very long time. That's what makes this interesting." Paul said he had a vision for the fight about 2 years ago and shared it with Tyson because he thought the Hall of Famer would understand and be interested. It took about that long for the bout to come together. Tyson appeared agitated at both hype events with fans in the Dallas area. First in the weeks before the originally scheduled fight and again at a news conference 2 nights before the bout. He was more reflective in a smaller setting with reporters, suggesting he wasn't the same foul-mouthed, scowling fighter from his prime. "I've been through so many ups and downs since my last fight with Kevin McBride," Tyson said. "I've been in rehab. I've been in prison, been locked up. Never in a million years did I believe I'd be doing this." According to reports, Paul will get $40 million for the fight, a number he mentioned at another news conference in New York in August. Tyson, who had 2 stints in prison over convictions in the 1990s for rape and assault and declared bankruptcy 21 years ago, will get $20 million. Tyson has said he isn't doing the fight for money. "That old Mike Tyson. He doesn't have no more purpose in my life. He just doesn't exist," Tyson said. "I'm having a good time in my life. I don't have much time left, so I'm having the best time of my life." Several states wouldn't sanction the bout. Texas agreed to a fight that was 8 rounds instead of 10 or 12, with 2-minute rounds instead of 3, and heavier glove. Paul has faced persistent questions about why he would fight someone so much older, regardless of Tyson's pedigree. His answers have been consistent. "I say talk to Mike and tell Mike that," Paul said. "He's the one that wanted it to be a pro fight, and me, as a young person in this sport, is not going to pass up the opportunity to fight the GOAT of boxing. It's like Ja Morant turning down a 1v1 against LeBron. It's not going to happen. There is a high-profile championship fight on the card, the co-main event of Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano." Paul said he wanted to give the women a spotlight after their slugfest at sold-out Madison Square Garden in 2022. It was the first time women headlined a boxing event at the famous venue. Taylor won a split decision that many questioned. Bidarian and Paul say the rematch for the undisputed super lightweight title will be the most lucrative women's sporting event in history. A lot of people said the real main event is Taylor Serrano, Bidarian said. I'm okay if you feel that way. Jake has said he's more excited about that fight than his own fight. But we wanted to ensure the most eyeballs got to see that fight. To be quite honest with ourselves, Tyson draws a bigger audience.